Hello guys, and welcome to the first video of the channel. I'm super excited to be here. So today I'm going to be sharing with you the custom tactics and instructions that I used to finish 25 wins in the weekend league, which was last week. The reason for the video being delayed was because of the celebrations going on of Diwali and everything, so I hope you guys understand, but now do enjoy the video. Quickly getting into the custom tactics, what I used for this for the last weekend league. Ultra defensive 4-2-3-1 formation, basic drop back. This is pre-patch, so the drop back was the meta, unfortunately. Depth is 3, width is 4. 4 width is because you need to defend the attacking fullbacks of the opponents. Offensive style is balance, which is pretty much how it should be. No changes there. Width is 4, players in the box is 4, corners 2. Corners 2 and free kicks 2 is because you don't want to keep the corners or free kicks too high because you're vulnerable to counter attacks that way, and corners directly aren't that effective in this game. Now the in-game team is Hyun-Min Song. It's striker. He's fast, he's strong, and he has backs to the wall, sort of backs to the defenders, sort of striker, which creates spaces for players like Neymar, Moura, and Dembele, all these players who are much faster than him. Now talking about Neymar at cam, he's literally the best cam after Messi, hands down, at least for the gold cards, of course not the icons. And Lucas Moura at lam, he's the next upgrade, but he's done pretty much the basic work for me. Dembele is really good. People call him the cheap Neymar, so you guys should definitely keep him in your team. Kante is on cut passing lanes, which I'm going to be talking about now. Kante is on cut passing lanes, and Fabinho is at cover center, so you need a presence in the midfield and somebody who can cover the ground. Get into the box for all the cams, no changes there. Hyun-Min Song is stay forward, no getting behind because it's a 4-2-3-1. You need a striker up against the defenders. The attacking fullbacks, the fullbacks will be on stay back while attacking, and this is pretty much it for the 4-2-3-1 drop back. Now coming to the main formation that I use, the main tactics that I use, I would say 4-2-3-1 pressure and heavy touch. The width is 4, depth is 4. Again, you need a high depth to pressurize your opponent. Now this tactic is very essential because, as you guys can see, it pressurizes when the opposition takes a heavy touch, it's a loose ball or controlling a difficult pass facing their own goal. So it's not a heavy press all the time, and it's not sitting too deep at the same time. So this works for me pretty good. Offensive is balanced, no changes there. Width is 3, as I want my players to be closer to the ball, closer to each other, sorry, so that they can make those quick passing, which I like to do around the box. Now players in the box is 5 because I want more players into the box while I'm crossing, and I love to use that style of play, which really helps me. Now coming to the 4-2-2. Now the instructions in this, the tactics right now is the defense is the balanced. Width is 4, depth is 4, no changes there. Now offensive is balanced. You can probably change to pressure after possession loss depending upon how badly you need that goal. If you're behind, you can probably make those changes here, but balance is just fine for me. Width is 3 as I want my players to be compact. Players in the box is 5. Corners, free kicks are a bit high because I usually resort to this when I'm losing. Instructions are basically get in behind on Neymar because he's fast. I would recommend don't put get in behind on both the strikers because you need one of the guys to hold the ball and make room for the passes. Both cams are get into the box. Fabinho and Kante, basically everything else is the same. Now getting into ultra attacking, pressure after possession loss is the defensive, and in this tactic, now it's a narrow formation, and this is what I use when I'm losing. So pressure after possession loss is very good to pressurize your opponents to take the ball as soon as you can. Of course it increases the fatigue of the player, but you're losing, right, and you need to get that goal, so it's very important. This or constant pressure is essential when you're behind. Width is a bit high, depth is 5, so I mean, it's but natural to increase the width and the depth because you want your fullbacks to go forward and you want players up the field. Fast built up is because of the quick gameplay, quick passes that you need in front of the box. Width is 3, you want your players to be compact. Players in the box is 5 because you want that left center mid, in my case is Lucas Moura, so he goes forward. I want that kind of a player going inside. Now Kante is a good option. Kante is a good option as an RCM because he is very quick on the ball. His finishing sucks, but then he's pretty good, and the control he has around the box is much better than Fabinho, hence Fabinho at defensive midfielder. Semedo and Teles, my fullbacks, will go overlap because you want your fullbacks overlapping when you're losing, and Lucas Moura as get forward and cover center. Now you can possibly go with cover wing instead of cover center because he's good at wings, he's going to run. Cover center, stay back for Kante. This can go to drop back between defenders if you want, and cut passing lays is essential in my opinion. Stay forward for Dembele, Son, stay forward, Neymar getting behind. Now going back again on this, I think I missed the instructions here. It's probably the same. The only difference from this to the drop back is that there's a free roam on Neymar, which is essential because he's very good at running here and there, creating space, and rest of the tactics and instructions are very much the same. So guys, let's just straight away get into the gameplay. So guys, these are the highlights of my FUT Champions from last week. So we'll just delve into the detail now. So key aspects, starting off, I would like to tell you guys that the one-touch passing is key. Now Neymar and Son are really effective with the 1-2s. So you got to make sure that whoever you're playing as your strikers, your cams, make sure you do those quick passing around the box, as unnecessary dribbling is like it's not required. It's pointless in this game. No La Croquetas, no chaining, simple 1-2s. FIFA 20 is all about quick passing, so make sure you do that. Second, I think it's important that you use the wings a lot. So wing play is crucial when you've got fast wingers like Lucas Moura, Ousmane Dembele, those who are in my team. They're really effective from the wings. Now, like you guys can see in this chance that we hit the post, so just you got to make sure that you keep trying. Okay, this is the third point that I want to talk in detail about. You got to keep trying, you got to keep shooting. So since this is like pre-patch, there's not much something that you can learn from in terms of shooting from this video, but all I would say is that the one thing that you should be focusing on is to keep trying and not to be complacent in front of the goal, because it's very important that you take your chances no matter if you can convert them or not. Now the fourth point is to see out game. Like you can see there, it was a close game. I won 2-1, but it's essential that you keep your composure and see out the game. It's very important. Now onto some tips about how to be aggressive all the time in front of the goal. Okay, so even if your opponent is not at your level, if you feel that you're winning comfortably, do not give up on scoring more goals, because it's gonna help your skill rating reach higher. If you can hit that 28, 29 mark, even 30 for that matter, for some of you who are actually pretty good, it's important that you keep scoring goals, because if you don't do that, your skill rating goes down and eventually you lose out on regional top 100 or top 100. Now talking more about using your cams very effectively in terms of in front of the goal. So the way to do that is to be composed when it comes to doing drag backs and other skills. Now when you're in front of the goal, composure is essential, guys. Composure is very important. Now even in terms of defending, in terms of attacking, anything, like you guys can see here, I was not composed and I got lucky. I got very lucky with that, the guy hitting the post. So it's absolutely crucial that you stay composed. Like you guys can see in this video, we got unlucky there and we missed an easy chance, but it's important that you be very composed in front of the goal. Now talking more about the play from the midfield. Now my build up is very patient. That's what I try to do, because the servers are in a terrible state right now. The delay is unreal. Make sure that you pass the ball around the D as much as possible till you get an opening, because if you don't do that, the opponent presses, the opponent tackles once, and your whole flow gets ruined, and then you're not able to focus on your attacks and you're vulnerable to counter attacks. Now on to the next point, guys. Defending was a bit shabby for me in the last weekend league, as like I said, the delay was unreal, but defending is very crucial in this game because it's all about manual tackling now. It's not AI anymore. So make sure that you get your tackles right, especially when you've got mediocre centre backs. If you've got good centre backs, you're of course at an advantage. Now coming to this game, this is an Indian guy that I played with, so the connection was a lot better. And he took the first blood, and it was very difficult for me to find my form. But I stood right there. I was composed, and I could get the goal in the 45th minute. Now, my next point is to capitalize on the mistakes. So as you guys can see, as you guys saw there, my opponent made a mistake, and that's what I had to capitalize upon to get that winning goal. Again, you see here, the opponent made a mistake, and it was too much of a clutter inside the D box, but you gotta stay patient, guys. You have to stay patient in front of the goal. Like I said, composure essential, even if the opponent make mistakes or you create the goal on your own. Now talking about my goalkeeper, Marc-Andre ter Stegen is by far the best keeper in this game, guys, hands down. So you'll be seeing a lot of clips coming up in which I'll be talking about how good ter Stegen is, and I'll be showing you that from the video proof. Right now, I'll talk about how important it is to see out the games against tough opponents. Now, as you guys saw in the last clip, that the guy had a really good team, and he was really composed, and say like you see that ter Stegen, madness, yeah. So yeah, make sure that you take your chances, yeah, against good opponents, and you stay composed and see out the game. Now coming to the defensive aspects again, manual tackling is crucial. Do not sit back. I made those mistakes, so I want you guys to learn from this video as well, as to just press when the opportunity rises and do not sit back, because since this was pre-patch, so the drop back meta was really good. People might think that we just sit back. Sometimes it doesn't work, especially in a bad connection. So make sure that you press when the opportunity rises and do not sit back. Now my next point would be to talk about the counter attacks. As you guys can see, I have scored so many goals on counter attacks. I sometimes like to absorb pressure when the opponent is good, and I like to hit them on the counter. So a lot of goals you'll see in this video is about counter attacks, and that's how you get a couple of your opponents to rage quit, because guys, a tough opponent will not give you a chance always in front of the goal. You have to stay patient, and you have to rely on counter attacks. Sometimes you'll miss chances like that. You might get frustrated, but keep your composure, guys. It's essential. As you saw there, I rushed into the tackle, but ter Stegen was there to rescue me. So do not rush into unnecessary tackles. I conceded that goal. This game was very tough for me, to be very honest. I had to be very patient, and then in the 65th minute I got an opening where I was very composed in front of the goal, and I got the result that I needed. Now ter Stegen again, guys, always there, always. He's like a presence. As you guys can see, those saves are incredible, and this is extra time going on. So we made that guy just, be frustrated because ter Stegen was not giving him any room in front of the goal. We got lucky there sometimes. Now this point that I'll be talking about is the fact that you need luck to be on your side, and I know that's not in your hands, but luck is very, very crucial when it comes to FUT Champions, guys. Luck is very important. Anyway, on to the next point. As you guys can see here, there are some times when the defense is out of control. It's totally out of control of your hands, and something like that happened, as you guys can see. But then we capitalized on the counter attack. We made sure that, that smile says it all. We got lucky there. Anyway, yeah, so I was actually saying that, make sure you frustrate your opponent by playing the right game and not the wrong game. Yeah, stay composed. I will say it again and again. Anyway, on to the next game. This was against Burhan Malik. He's a really good player. He's also an Indian. I had to again be patient in the 65th minute to make this comeback. And Son, guys, outside of the box, inside of the box, Son is
fantastic. Just take those chances. Just try and hit those first time finesse shots. Do that fake. Use his weak foot. I mean, look at that goal. That was a tasty goal, and I loved it. I mean, that was one of my best goals from the weekend league. And like I said, you have to be focused while you're defending. Even if the opponent gets lucky, make sure you're there to see the second ball so that you can finish the game off like I just did there, because he was a good opponent. So guys, now we were getting a lot of tough opponents. Like now, as you guys will see, when the ball Sid, now he's a very good friend, he's a good player from Mumbai, and in the start it was very difficult because he was pressing a lot, he was creating chances, but then like I said, I had to stay patient and I had to get that 45th minute goal. Now this is my top goal from the FUT Champions, my best goal, and I know it's a FIFA 19 sort of a glitch, but then it's a goal is a goal, and if I can pull that off in FIFA 20, that means that it had to be because of the skill. So Neymar, El Tornado, bam, far post. So yeah, I mean you gotta be creative, right? You can't just, because there are hardly any new ways to score goals in FIFA 20. So you make sure that whatever different things that you can do, keep trying them, as it will reward you at some point of time. Like you guys saw that we got a space, we got that angle, and we converted that chance. It was one of what? It was the best goal of my weekend league. Now coming to the defending aspect, as you guys can see, I'm not switching my players too much. I'm only switching near the ball. Now you have to see out games like that. Look at that. Just be composed and you will get the ball. You just have to maintain your shape. And since this is pre-patch, a tip, as it will not be helpful later on like I said, but it at least helps you to shape your back line. So make sure that you only tackle when it's necessary. Switch to the right positions. Do not switch onto the fullbacks unnecessarily. That's a mistake I did a lot of times, and that's how you see out the game. Even the third goal was really good in my opinion, but he was a very tough opponent. He also finished elite, and just like that, you have to take your chances and get those beautiful goals that you can score. Now look at that, first time fakes. Now this time is this conversation that I'm gonna have with you guys is about how to just use those first time fakes. As you guys can see, even my opponent did that. The first time fakes are very good with agile players. Make sure you keep doing that, as standing at one point of time while receiving the ball will not help you. This game will not reward you if you're just standing as soon as you get the ball. It does not work like that. Now this was a very tough game. Again, like you guys can see, I had to be very composed while defending, keeping the ball. The reason I'm repeating the word composure, I want you guys to make sure that it comes back in your head every time you guys play the game, as losing your cool is the biggest flaw of playing weekend league, because this game will make a problem, will create a problem when it comes to, you know, having a healthy mental state as you guys all know that. And to counter that, you have to be in a healthy state of mind. Again, now looking at this, we got a couple of rage quits, and people were just leaving the game because they were just too tired. It was the end of the weekend. I was scoring some really fast goals. So yeah, I mean, it's imperative that you keep pushing forward and do not hold yourself back, because if you stop doing that, it just creates a mentality, it creates that space in your head that I'm winning, I don't need to score more goals, and this is going to like create an issue for you when you're playing in a game and when you're winning and your opponent just hits back at you, equalizes, and then you don't know what to do. Like, you'll just be very complacent. So make sure I have that habit of scoring as many goals as possible. Be attacking, be aggressive, and defend in a, basically, like, I'll just put it out for you guys. Defend in a very patient manner, attack aggressively like a tiger. Now guys, there were some games which were a bit cagey, a bit difficult for me, as I required a lot of luck per se, and I required a lot of patience, because against good opponents, they keep a lot of possession. You have to be very patient when they have the ball, and you have to create chances exactly when the moment comes. And sometimes, a lot of times, 45th minute is essential, because it's just like a magic wand or something that happens at the 45th or the 90th minute. I don't know if it's a glitch, if it's a myth, I have no idea. But then again, we conceded at the 62nd minute, which was a bit of a problem for me, and then we got lucky, very lucky here, because if this would have gone in, it would have completely changed the weekend league. But then the moment of magic came from Neymar. Guys, Neymar, use him, 5-star weak foot. Try and try and try. You will get a chance, because Neymar does not miss when in the D box. If you shoot right, he will reward you with a goal. Now this is how we saw the game out. We finished, we got another goal, because I had all the pressure put on him at Shish's, because I don't know, the way he was playing, I didn't like it. But yeah, this opponent was very difficult. This is the game that went into the penalty shootout, and probably one of the toughest games of my weekend league, as the opponent was good, and then, like I said, he got lucky again. I didn't even like press the button to tackle, but then it is what it is. And wait for this, guys, because penalties are very crucial, and sometimes you just have to be at one place. Stay where you are. You might just get lucky, because sometimes trying something new will cost you a goal. Now this is something that bothered me. 65th minute I conceded after a very cagey match, but then a moment of magic from Son. That's what it is, guys. Outside of the box, inside of the box. Keep your composure, get that goal. And now this, like I said, would go in the penalties. I was just trying to, attack, but he was not giving me any sort of space. So I knew this game would go into the penalties. Now, it was a cagey affair. Penalties are always a stress. So a little tip about penalties, guys, make sure to look at the head of the player where he's shooting. That helps a lot. Now, since FIFA 20 penalties are very difficult, you are unable to tell from the player movement where he's going to shoot. So you have to make sure you have to look at the head of the player, and the movement of the player comes secondary. We were solid, so to say, in terms of penalties. I was focused, I knew where to hit, and that's where I got like, just stay where you are. Sometimes you don't have to move here and there unnecessarily, because it just makes the opponent confused that he thinks you're a pro, he thinks you're a good player, you go here and there. But now, coming to the most difficult game. This guy was 27 wins with 3 games left. He's a top 100 player for sure, and I know him personally. The only loss he took was from me, which is very, very positive for me. And he was really good at the starting, like you guys can see. I mean, Ter Stegen again to the rescue, always there to save me against tough opponents. And that's where we took whatever opportunities we took, we converted them in this game. Now, as you guys can see, he created so many chances. He's a very good player. It was the most difficult game for me, because his attack was lethal. His team, as you guys saw, is insane. But then again, that should have gone in, right? 45th minute, it's coming up. I'll tell you, it's a magic wand. It's something. If you can attack at that time, if you can get it, guys, it's key. Like, we got so lucky. I mean, it's sad. I apologize. I said sorry to him, like you guys can see. It's difficult to take a goal at the 45th minute. I've conceded a million of goals because of the 45th, but like, that was a good goal. I was composed in terms of attacking, and this was the game that helped me get Elite 2. Last game, I was on 24. I matched with Zen, and it was not easy, as you guys can see how good he is. And this was like a must win for me, must win, and I clutched up. I took the chances, I was composed, that pass was beautiful, then a ball roll, simple finish, composure. I will say it again, it's very, very important, guys. That was the end of the highlights, guys. I hope you liked. It's a quick talk about the gameplay. composure, patience, deadly attacks, mentally stable, no rage. Just be confident about yourself and try new ways to score more goals, because it's important that you create your chances and defend well, and you will finish elite. Trust me guys, it's all about this, nothing else. So guys, this was the full highlights video of my FUT Champions Weekend League gameplay from last week. I spoke about all the gameplay tactics and instructions, and how you should be going about the game, and how you should be mentally focused. And I'm so glad I did this video. It took me long, but then eventually I really hope it turns out to be a success. Thanks a lot for tuning in guys. I'll be coming up with a lot more videos for you guys. Trust me, we're gonna take this community forward. FIFA esports in India, for me to take it to the global level, is actually my first and primary goal, and a lot of people other than me are also doing this, but my intention is to just work hard and give you guys the best content possible. So thanks a lot guys, and do like the video, do subscribe, and I really hope that this video reaches at least 5,000 views. Thanks a lot for tuning in guys. Peace out.